What if the secret to never feeling overwhelmed at home after 60 isn't about cleaning harder, but about living smarter? Think about it. So many of us were raised with a belief that a spotless home requires endless scrubbing, bending, and hours of our day. But what if I told you that women who seem to have effortlessly organized homes aren't working more? They're simply thinking differently. Imagine this. You walk through your front door, and instead of clutter staring back at you, you're welcomed by calm. A cozy chair, a tidy corner, everything in its place. Not because you spend the whole day polishing and folding, but because you built small, smart habits that protect your peace. Doesn't that sound freeing? After 60, energy becomes something we choose to spend carefully. No one wants to waste it chasing piles of laundry or hunting for misplaced keys. The real secret isn't perfection. It's creating a rhythm that keeps your home light, beautiful, and always ready for company. And here's the exciting part. These habits aren't complicated. In fact, they're gentle, even joyful. They free up your time for the things that actually matter. Your hobbies, your friendships, your family, and yes, even those quiet moments of self-care. So stay with me, because in just a moment, you'll learn 10 elegant, ageless habits that women over 60 use to create homes that feel warm, inviting, and never messy. And I promise, the last one will surprise you the most. Welcome, my friends, to Ageless Style for women over 60, a place where we celebrate elegance, simplicity, and confidence at every stage of life. Because let's be honest, life after 60 isn't about chasing trends or exhausting ourselves with perfection. It's about creating spaces and routines that make us feel calm, capable, and truly at home. Now, if you've ever looked around your living room and thought, why does it feel like the clutter grows faster than I can keep up? You're not alone. Many women over 60 feel exactly the same way. But here's the beautiful truth. You don't need to spend your golden years constantly cleaning, scrubbing, or tidying. What you really need are habits. Simple, thoughtful choices that keep your home feeling fresh, organized, and welcoming without draining your energy. And that's exactly what we're diving into today. 10 habits of organized women who never have a messy home. These aren't boring tips you've heard 100 times before. They're small but powerful practices that protect your peace, give you back your time, and make your home a place you actually love to be in. But before we begin, let me ask you a favor. If you're ready to discover these habits and embrace more calm, elegance, and joy in your daily life, go ahead and hit that like button right now. And don't forget to subscribe, because your best years of style and serenity are not behind you. They are just beginning. This channel is all about showing you how. And here's a little secret. The final habit I'll be sharing is one most women never think of. In fact, it's so simple and so overlooked that when you hear it, you might smile and think, why didn't I do this sooner? But that one change has transformed the way countless women over 60 feel in their homes. And it could do the same for you. So stay with me until the end, because you deserve to know all 10. And along the way, I'd love to hear from you. Share your thoughts in the comments. Which of these habits speaks to you the most? Your stories inspire other women in this community, and together, we remind each other that elegance has no expiration date. Let's get started. Habit 1. The 5-minute reset. Let me introduce you to someone special. Marigold. She's 67. A retired choir teacher who spent decades guiding young voices to sing in harmony. But here's the thing. When she first stepped into retirement, she noticed something unsettling. Without her school schedule keeping her structured, her days started blending together, and so did the piles. Mail on the kitchen counter, books stacked on the floor, laundry half finished. Nothing extreme, but enough to make her feel uneasy in her own home. One evening, while folding a cardigan, she asked herself, why am I waking up already behind? Why does yesterday's clutter always greet me first thing in the morning? That question changed everything. Marigold created what she calls her 5-minute reset. Instead of collapsing on the couch at night or scrolling endlessly on her tablet, she spends just 5 minutes walking through her main living space. She fluffs the pillows on the sofa, places the remote in its basket, gathers any stray mugs, and straightens the mail. 5 minutes. That's it. The next morning, something magical happened. She woke up to a living room that felt fresh, calm, and ready for her. No nagging piles, no visual stress, just a space that said, "Welcome. Today is yours." Now here's why this works so well for women over 60. Energy is precious. You don't need to deep clean every night, and you certainly don't need to chase perfection. The secret is consistency. 5 minutes at night prevents 30 minutes of frustration the next day. And that gift of starting the morning clear-headed, it sets the tone for the whole day. Try this yourself. The next time you're ready to call it a night, set a gentle timer for 5 minutes. Don't aim to fix the whole house. Just focus on resetting the areas you'll see first in the morning. Tidy the entryway, clear the kitchen counter, or fold that blanket draped over the chair. Small actions, big emotional payoff. And here's a bonus tip from Marigold herself. Play one favorite song while you reset. As she says, "By the time the chorus hits, my home is already smiling back at me." So tell me, have you ever tried a nighttime reset? Or do you think 5 minutes could make a difference in your home? Share your thoughts below. I'd love to hear your story. Habit 2. The sentimental filter. If there's one thing women over 60 know better than anyone, it's that life is filled with memories worth keeping. Every postcard from a trip, every birthday card from a grandchild, every little trinket collected along the way holds a story. And let's be honest, it's those stories that make a house feel alive. But here's where many of us get caught. When everything feels too precious to part with, suddenly the treasures stop feeling special and start feeling like clutter. This is where the sentimental filter comes in. Instead of filling every shelf, counter, or table with dozens of keepsakes, you choose one visible treasure at a time to honor. Just one. Not because the others don't matter, but because giving that single piece the spotlight allows it to shine. Let me tell you about Marigold again. When her first grandson, Eli, was 6, he drew her a picture of the two of them holding hands under a giant sun. Like most grandmothers, she wanted to keep it forever. At first, she placed it on the refrigerator, but as years passed, more drawings piled up. Soon, her fridge was so covered that none of them felt special anymore. That's when she made a change. She decided to frame just one drawing, the one of the two of them under the sun, and hung it in her hallway. Every time she passes it, it makes her smile, because it's not lost in a sea of paper. It's highlighted, cherished. And here's the surprising part. Eli noticed. He said, "Grandma, you still have my picture up." That one choice made him feel important, and made her feel lighter. The sentimental filter doesn't mean throwing everything away. It means curating, rotating, and giving each treasure its moment to shine. Keep one postcard out, then swap it with another next season. Place a single seashell from that anniversary trip on the shelf, and let it remind you of that joy. Store the rest safely in a memory box or photo album, but let one at a time represent the richness of your life. The emotional magic. When you limit the number of visible keepsakes, you actually connect with them more deeply. They stop blending into the background. Each one feels intentional, meaningful, and worthy of attention. So here's a gentle challenge for you. Look around your living room today. Is there one item you'd like to highlight? One keepsake that truly speaks to your heart? Put that item in a special spot, and let the others rest for now. You'll be amazed at how your home instantly feels calmer, more elegant, and more like a reflection of your best memories, not your piles. And now I want to hear from you. What's the one sentimental piece in your home that deserves the spotlight right now? Share it in the comments. You might just inspire another woman to try her own sentimental filter. Habit 3, the one-touch rule. One of the simplest yet most powerful habits of organized women is something I like to call the one-touch rule. And it's exactly what it sounds like. When something lands in your hands, you deal with it once, then it's done. No circling back, no piling, no extra steps. Think about it. A coat draped over a chair means you'll have to touch it again later to hang it. A dirty dish left in the sink means you'll face it a second time before it finally makes its way to the dishwasher. A piece of mail dropped on the counter becomes part of that growing stack you'll eventually have to sort through. Every time we delay, we double our work. And after 60, doubling your work isn't just tiring, it's unnecessary. Let me take you back to Marigold's kitchen. For years, she had what she jokingly called the paper avalanche on her dining table. Receipts, catalogs, letters, some important, some not. She always told herself she'd go through them later. But later usually meant a frustrating Saturday morning when the pile was knee-high and overwhelming. Then one day she tried something new. Instead of setting the mail down, she handled each piece once. A bill went straight into her to-pay folder. A letter from her sister went onto her writing desk. And junk mail went directly into the recycling bin. Touch once, done. Within a week, the paper avalanche was gone. And for the first time in years, she could set a vase of flowers on her dining table again. The beauty of the one-touch rule isn't just the order it creates. It's the energy it saves. When you train yourself to handle things in the moment, your home feels instantly lighter because there's no silent list of unfinished tasks hanging in the air. And here's the secret. It doesn't take more time. It actually takes less, because you're eliminating the second round of effort. Try this. The next time you walk through your door, commit to putting your coat on the hook immediately, your keys in their dish, your shoes in their spot. Or when you're done with your evening tea, rinse the cup and place it in the dishwasher right away. These small, intentional choices create a rhythm where clutter simply doesn't have a chance to grow. Marigold says, "Once I started the one-touch rule, I realized my home wasn't messy. I was just postponing decisions. Now, I feel like I'm always one step ahead." So here's my question for you. Where in your home do you feel the touch it twice trap the most? Is it the kitchen? The entryway? The laundry? Share it in the comments because chances are, other women here are nodding along with the same challenge. Habit 4. The Sunday Calm Corner. Sundays have a rhythm all their own. They mark the close of one week and quietly open the door to the next. For many women over 60, Sundays can feel bittersweet. Memories of family dinners, children bustling through the house, or long-held traditions that have shifted with time. But instead of letting Sunday slip by unnoticed, you can turn it into a ritual that restores your spirit and prepares your home for the days ahead. I call it the Sunday Calm Corner. The idea is simple. Every Sunday, choose one cozy nook in your home, a favorite chair, a reading spot by the window, a nightstand by your bed, and refresh it. Not your whole house. Just one small sacred space. This becomes your weekly reset, your personal reminder that peace begins with intention. Take Marigold, for example. After retiring, her Sundays felt unstructured. She often spent them half drifting between unfinished chores and the TV, which left her feeling restless. Then one week, she cleared the clutter from her corner armchair, smoothed a quilt over its back, set a small lamp beside it, and placed her journal on the table. That night, when she sat there with a cup of peppermint tea, she realized she'd created more than just a tidy corner. She had carved out sanctuary. From then on, she treated Sundays as her refresh day. Some weeks, she added a vase of wildflowers from her garden. Other weeks, she swapped her reading material. Sometimes poetry, sometimes a new novel. And occasionally, she simply lit a candle and let the quiet speak. No matter how the rest of the house looked, she always knew she had one corner that reflected calm, beauty, and care. Why does this matter so deeply at this stage of life? Because after 60, peace isn't just pleasant. It's essential. Our energy is better spent on restoration than on endless chores. And when your home holds a corner designed just for your comfort, it becomes a visual promise to yourself. You matter. Your calm matters. Here's how you can create your own Sunday calm corner. 1. Pick a spot you naturally gravitate toward. A chair, a desk, or even a cozy spot in the kitchen. 2. Clear it out completely, even if just for a few minutes. Remove the piles of paper, the clutter, the distractions. 3. Add 1 or 2 elements that bring you joy. A soft blanket, a good book, a framed photo, or a plant. 4. Repeat weekly, adjusting the details so it always feels fresh and intentional. This small ritual transforms your Sunday into a day of preparation, not through chores but through peace. And when Monday arrives, you'll feel anchored by the memory of that corner waiting for you. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Where in your home would you create your Sunday calm corner? Is it a chair by the window, a quiet nook in the bedroom, or maybe a sunny spot on the porch? Share it in the comments, and let's inspire one another to create spaces that honor our need for rest and beauty. Habit 5. Memory baskets. One of the biggest challenges many women over 60 face is balancing the things they love with the reality of limited space. Hobbies, caregiving items, even little projects tend to spread out and take over the home. Knitting needles on the coffee table, puzzle pieces on the dining room surface, medication bottles on the kitchen counter. It doesn't take long before the very activities that bring joy start to look like clutter. That's where memory baskets come in. The idea is beautifully simple. Instead of scattering items across the house, you give each passion or responsibility its own dedicated basket. Clearly labeled, easy to carry, and even more importantly, easy to put away. The basket becomes both a container and a celebration of what matters to you right now. Marigold discovered this habit when her granddaughter left her art supplies on the living room floor. At first, she felt that familiar tension. Do I tidy all this up or leave it for tomorrow? Then she spotted a wicker basket in her closet. She gathered the crayons, the sketch pad, and the markers, placed them neatly inside, and tucked the basket by the sofa. Suddenly, the room was tidy again, and nothing was lost. Inspired, Marigold created more baskets. One for her knitting, one for her choir music, and one for the letters she loved writing to old friends. She even made a caregiving basket for when her sister came to visit, stocked with her sister's favorite tea, hand cream, and puzzle book. Each basket had its own identity, and every project felt honored, not hidden. Why does this matter so much? Because baskets don't just contain things, they protect your energy. Instead of cleaning up from scratch each time, you simply return the basket to its spot. The next time you're ready to pick up where you left off, everything is already together. No hunting, no stress, no clutter creeping into every corner. You don't need expensive containers. A simple wicker basket, a cloth bin, or even a sturdy box will do. What matters is giving each basket a clear purpose and labeling it, so you and anyone else in your household know exactly what belongs where. This habit also sends a powerful emotional message. Your passions are worthy of space, but they don't have to take over your home. Whether it's gardening gloves, sewing supplies, or crossword puzzles, they all find their place. And when they're contained, your home breathes easier. So here's my invitation. Choose one activity or caregiving need that tends to spread out in your home. Create a memory basket for it this week. Then notice how much lighter your space feels when joy is contained with care. And I'd love to know, what would your first basket hold? Knitting needles, sketch pads, maybe old photographs you've been meaning to sort. Share it in the comments, you might spark an idea for someone else. Habit 6. Guest-ready mindset. There's a certain confidence that comes with knowing your home is always ready to welcome someone in. For women over 60, that readiness isn't about perfection or putting on a show. It's about creating an atmosphere where connection can bloom at a moment's notice. Whether it's a neighbor dropping by with fresh tomatoes from the garden, your daughter swinging in for coffee, or a friend calling to say, "I'm in the area, can I stop by?" You want your home to say, "Yes, come in. You're welcome here." The guest-ready mindset isn't about hours of tidying. It's a simple 10-minute check each morning that shifts your home from lived-in to inviting. Imagine this. Instead of rushing around in embarrassment when the doorbell rings, you can open the door with a smile, relaxed and present, knowing your space reflects the warmth you want to share. Take Marigold, for instance. After retirement, she often hesitated to invite friends in because she worried about the little messes. Yesterday's mail on the counter, a teacup in the sink, shoes by the door. It weighed on her, even though her friends never judged. Then she started setting a timer for 10 minutes each morning. She'd do 3 small things: clear the entryway, wipe the kitchen counter, and fluff the pillows in the living room. That's it. Over time, she noticed something powerful. Her mornings felt lighter, her confidence grew, and her home seemed to carry a quiet readiness. Even when no one came by, She enjoyed her own space more because it reflected calm and hospitality. And when someone did ring the doorbell, she welcomed them without hesitation, fully present in the moment. The beauty of this practice is that it's sustainable. 10 minutes isn't overwhelming. It doesn't drain your energy or feel like a chore. It's a rhythm that honors both your need for peace and your desire for connection. And it turns hospitality into a joy, not a stressor. Here's how you can create your own guest-ready mindset. 1. Pick your focus areas. Usually the spaces guests see first. Entryway, living room, kitchen. 2. Set a timer for 10 minutes. Knowing there's a clear limit keeps it light. 3. Do small resets. Clear surfaces, tuck away shoes or bags, and add one simple touch like opening the blinds for light. 4. Stop when the timer ends. The goal isn't perfection, it's presence. This tiny habit transforms not just your home but your heart. Because when your space is ready, you are ready. Ready to open your door, ready to connect, ready to say yes to the moments that matter most. So let me ask you, if someone knocked on your door right now, what's the one thing you'd want to do in those 10 minutes to feel guest ready? Share it in the comments. I can't wait to hear your answers. Habit 7. Tech partnering. For many women over 60, technology can feel like an overwhelming wave. Constant updates, endless notifications, and devices that sometimes seem more complicated than helpful. But what if, instead of resisting it, you invited technology to become your ally in creating order and peace at home? That's what I call tech partnering. It's not about chasing the latest gadgets or learning complicated apps. It's about letting simple, everyday tools work for you, not against you. Take Alexa or Google Home, for example. These devices can do far more than play music or tell you the weather. With just a few voice commands, they can become gentle companions, offering nudges that make your routines lighter and your home more serene. Marigold discovered this after misplacing her reading glasses for the 3rd time in a single week. Frustrated, she set up a simple Alexa reminder. Every evening at 8 p.m., a calm voice chimed in. Marigold, put your glasses on the side table. It took her 30 seconds, but over time the habit stuck. No more frantic searching the next morning. No more wasted energy. From there she expanded. She asked her Google Home to remind her at 9 a.m. to water her plants. At 2 p.m., it reminded her to take a short stretch and clear off the kitchen counter. By the end of the week, she realized her home looked consistently fresher. Not because she worked harder, but because she let tech carry the mental load of remembering. This is the secret gift of tech partnering. It frees your mind from the weight of, I should remember. Instead of clutter and chores living in your head, they live in a system that whispers at just the right time. And unlike sticky notes that blend into the background, these little digital nudges break through with kindness and consistency. Here's how you can try it. 1. Pick 1 or 2 habits that slip through the cracks, like folding laundry, recycling mail, or putting away your shoes. 2. Set a daily reminder through Alexa, Google, or even your smartphone. Keep it short, clear, and kind. 3. Pair reminders with actions that feel rewarding. When the reminder chimes, take a deep breath, complete the task, then enjoy the calm it creates. 4. Adjust as needed. If one reminder feels annoying, change the time or tone. This is about support, not stress. The beauty of tech partnering is that it blends modern tools with timeless wisdom. It recognizes that your energy is precious, and your peace is worth protecting. And when you let technology become a gentle partner, your home stays lighter, your mind clearer, and your heart freer for the things that truly matter. So here's a question. If you could set just 1 reminder today to make your home life easier, what would it be? Share it below. You might inspire someone else to try the same. Habit 8. Donation as ritual. There comes a point in life when we realize that the things we've gathered over decades, clothes, books, dishes, trinkets, carry stories. Some of them still serve us, but many sit quietly on shelves, in closets, or tucked away in boxes, waiting. For women over 60, these items aren't just stuff. They hold memory, history, and even pieces of identity. That's why letting go can feel so heavy. But what if releasing those items became more than decluttering? What if it became an act of love, gratitude, and even legacy? That's the heart of donation as ritual. Instead of seeing donation as a chore, you transform it into a monthly practice of blessing. Once a month, set aside time, not to purge harshly, but to choose gently. Look around your home and ask, what is ready to bring joy to someone else? That sweater you haven't worn in 3 winters. The casserole dish you no longer use. The stack of novels already read. Each item becomes a gift waiting to find its next chapter. Marigold found this ritual after cleaning her closet and realizing she was holding on to dresses she hadn't worn since her teaching days. They no longer fit her lifestyle, yet each one reminded her of a moment. A choir recital, a holiday dinner, a favorite student's wedding. First she hesitated. But instead of rushing, she lit a candle, touched each dress, and whispered gratitude. Thank you for carrying me through those seasons. Then she folded them neatly into a bag for donation. When she dropped the bag off at a local shelter, something unexpected happened. Instead of feeling loss, she felt lightness, and even joy, knowing those clothes might help another woman step into a new chapter with dignity. From then on, Marigold made donation her monthly ritual. Not a punishment, but a blessing. Here's how you can try it yourself. 1. Choose a date, maybe the first Saturday of each month, to make it feel regular. 2. Select just 3 to 5 items each time. This keeps it gentle and sustainable. 3. Offer gratitude as you let go. Speak it aloud if you can. 4. Deliver with intention, whether to a charity, a church, a women's shelter, or even a neighbor in need. Over time, your home grows lighter, but so does your spirit. You create space not just physically, but emotionally. Space for new memories, fresh experiences, and deeper peace. And most importantly, you transform letting go into an act of generosity, one that ripples outward far beyond your home. So tell me, if you were to choose one item this month to release with gratitude, what would it be? Share in the comments. You may inspire someone else to take their first step into this freeing ritual. Habit 9. Nightly gratitude sweep. Evenings carry a special kind of quiet, especially after 60. The world slows, the phone rings less, and the day begins to settle into memory. But too often, that quiet can be disturbed by the little reminders of what we didn't finish. A mug left on the table, magazines scattered on the sofa, mail unopened on the counter. And in our minds, the unfinished business of the day can spiral. Did I call the doctor back? Did I water the plants? Did I accomplish enough? That's why the nightly gratitude sweep is such a powerful habit. It doesn't just clear your space, it clears your spirit. The practice is simple yet profound. Before bed, take 10 minutes to combine 2 rituals, gratitude journaling and a gentle room scan. First, sit with your notebook and write down 3 things from your day that you are grateful for. They don't have to be grand. Maybe the roses finally bloomed, or your neighbor waved as you picked up the mail, or your knees didn't ache during your walk. These small moments anchor the day in abundance instead of worry. Then, with that spirit of gratitude warming your heart, walk slowly through the main rooms of your home. Don't aim to clean, to scan. Pick up the stray cup, fold the throw blanket, place the keys back in their spot. These are small gestures, but together they transform your space from scattered to settled. Marigold began this ritual after noticing how restless she felt at night. Her sleep was often interrupted, and she'd wake up with her mind already busy. When she paired gratitude with tidying, something shifted. As she wrote down her blessings, her breathing slowed. And when she did her sweep, she found herself smiling. Placing the book back on the shelf reminded her she'd made time to read. Clearing the table reminded her of her granddaughter's visit. It was no longer a chore. It was a review of joy. The result? Mornings became brighter. She woke to a home that was already calm, with no leftover mess to nag at her spirit. Her sleep deepened, her mornings softened, and her confidence grew. Here's how you can begin your own nightly gratitude sweep. 1. Keep a journal and pen in your favorite spot, your nightstand or living room chair. 2. Write 3 blessings from the day, however small. Let them remind you of what's good. 3. Do a 5-minute scan, touching only the main areas. Think of it as tucking your home in for the night. 4. Finish with a pause. Stand in your tidy, quiet space and whisper a word of thanks before heading to bed. This habit is more than tidying. It's a love letter to your present life. And as you repeat it, you'll find that gratitude softens the edges of every day, while order gently welcomes you into the next. So let me ask, if you wrote in your gratitude journal tonight, what's the very first thing you jot down? Share it in the comments, and let's remind each other how much beauty is still found in our daily lives. Habit 10. The hostess habit. There's a quiet power in seeing your home not just as a place you live, but as a place that welcomes love. Too often after 60, women start to see their space only through the lens of chores. What needs dusting, what feels cluttered, what's wearing out. But when you shift your perspective and view your home through the eyes of someone you cherish, the experience changes completely. That's the essence of the hostess habit. The hostess habit isn't about achieving perfection. It's about imagining how your space feels to someone stepping inside. Picture your dearest friend, your grandchild, or even the younger version of yourself walking into your home. What would they notice first? The warmth of a lamp by the sofa. The inviting scent of a candle. The cozy chair that says, "Come, sit, stay a while." When you practice this habit, elegance stops being about spotless surfaces and starts being about love made visible. Marigold found this perspective when she prepared for her son's visit one weekend. At first, she fussed over dusting every corner, ironing table linens, and polishing silverware. But halfway through, she paused and asked herself, would he really notice this? Or would he notice how I greet him at the door? She shifted her focus. She lit a vanilla candle, placed fresh fruit in a bowl, and played his favorite jazz record in the background. When he arrived, he hugged her and said, "Mom, your house feels so warm." Not once did he mention the dusting. That moment changed everything for her. Instead of exhausting herself chasing an impossible standard of perfect, she leaned into presence, comfort, and care. She realized the most elegant homes aren't flawless, they're soulful. Here's how you can begin practicing the hostess habit. 1. Pause daily and imagine a loved one walking through your door. What would make them feel welcomed? Focus on that. 2. Add one gesture of love. A folded blanket ready by the chair, a vase with a flower from the garden, or a kettle filled and ready for tea. 3. Release perfection. Instead of scrubbing endlessly, ask, does this space feel warm? Does it invite conversation, comfort, and connection? 4. Enjoy it yourself. Remember, you are the first guest in your home. Create beauty that nourishes you too. The hostess habit transforms not only your home but your heart. It's a gentle reminder that love is the true measure of elegance, and that the most welcoming homes are not the ones that sparkle without flaw, but the ones that whisper, "You belong here." So here's my invitation. Think of one person you'd love to welcome into your space. What simple touch could you add today to make them feel cherished the moment they step inside? Share it in the comments. You might inspire someone else to bring more visible love into their home. Marigold's story reminds us that a home is more than walls, windows, and furniture. It's the stage where our daily life unfolds. Over time, her journey of adopting these gentle habits transformed not just the look of her space, but the feel of her entire life. Where once she carried the quiet weight of clutter and unfinished tasks, she now moves through her rooms with ease. Her home feels lighter, her spirit brighter, and her days more joyful because order and peace now work together instead of against her. But here's the truth. It wasn't about grand makeovers or exhausting cleaning marathons. It was about consistency, small shifts, and seeing her space as a partner rather than a burden. Each habit, the 5-minute reset, the sentimental filter, the Sunday calm corner, the hostess habit, layered on top of the other like threads in a quilt. Alone they were small. Together, they re-wove the fabric of her daily life into something sturdy yet soft, structured yet deeply personal. Now, when Marigold opens her door, She doesn't brace herself for judgment or feel the need to apologize for the state of her home. Instead, she welcomes others with quiet confidence, knowing her space reflects the best of who she is: thoughtful, gracious, and at peace. Even more importantly, she welcomes herself into that same environment each day. Her home isn't a place she has to wrestle with anymore. It's a place that nourishes her. And this is where her story touches all of us. Because whether you live in a cozy apartment, a house filled with decades of memories, or a downsized space after retirement, you have the same power Marigold discovered. The power to choose habits that make life feel lighter, calmer, and more joyful. The power to see elegance not as perfection, but as love made visible in your surroundings. Imagine this for yourself. Waking each morning to a space that feels fresh, inviting, and ready for connection. Moving through your day without the nagging pull of clutter. Ending your evening in a home that feels like sanctuary rather than a to-do list. That's not just possible. It's waiting for you in the small choices you make each day. So take inspiration from Marigold's story. Start with one habit, then another, and let the transformation ripple outward. Because your home deserves to feel like peace, and you deserve to live in a space that celebrates your best years with grace, beauty, and freedom. Which of these habits will you try first? Will it be the 5-minute reset that makes your mornings calmer, or the Sunday calm corner that turns one small nook into a sanctuary? Or maybe you feel inspired to try the donation as ritual habit, letting go with gratitude and blessing someone else's life. Whatever speaks to you most, I'd love for you to share your thoughts in the comments. Your story may be exactly what another woman needs to hear today. And here's why that matters. This community, Ageless Style for women over 60, isn't just about keeping a tidy home. It's about supporting one another, lifting each other up, and showing the world that elegance, joy, and confidence only deepen with age. When you share your experience, you're not only making a difference in your own life, you're inspiring countless other women who may be feeling overwhelmed, stuck, or unsure of where to start. So take a moment, drop a comment, and let us know. Which habit feels like your first step toward a lighter, calmer, and more beautiful home? And if this video resonated with you, if it sparked even one new idea or brought you a little peace of mind, I want to invite you to do something simple yet powerful. Hit that like button. It tells YouTube that this message matters, and it helps other women like you discover it too. Don't forget to subscribe because every week we're bringing fresh, thoughtful content designed just for women over 60. Tips, stories, and inspiration that prove your best years of elegance and serenity are unfolding right now. By subscribing, you're saying yes to making space for yourself, your joy, and your growth. And finally, share this with a friend, a sister, a neighbor, or someone you know who deserves to feel at home not just in their space, but in their life. Sometimes the smallest gift we can give is an encouraging word, a new perspective, or a gentle reminder that they are not alone in this season. So, which habit will you try first? Tell me below, and let's build a circle of women who are choosing peace, grace, and beauty, one small step at a time.